What is it? Damn it, bring him right down.
Mr. Westford here to see you, sir. Very good.
Professor, party out there tonight. I think the heavens are opened as well.
You're meant to enter via the servants' entrance, not the front door.
What's late at night? Your curtain twitching neighbours will be in bed by now.
Next time you shall enter via the servants' entrance, Mr. Westward. What do you have for me?
Got a few fishes on the hook, yeah? Some lonely wayward souls. So a lady in Union Street. Her husband got knocked down by a tram. Tragic at work. A bit like my old father. Except we have it with a boat in the quayside.
These will not do. None of these will do!
Well, sorry, it's slim pickings on the old death front. Alright, we're smoking here?
I would prefer if you didn't.
Must be so much easier when your father was around. I read that he was at the morgue, wasn't he? Something high up. Must have been so much easier to find those grieving widows and husbands. Won't be so easy for your business since his disappearance.
My father's passing certainly wasn't an inconvenience.
Suppose, but what for his disappearance, you and I wouldn't have got together.
Our meeting was not a coincidence, Mr. Westward. It was but a calculated act. You see, you were selected due to your unique set of skills and abilities.
And what exactly is those skills and abilities?
A lack of upstanding moral. However, your recent work does lead me to question our future relationships.
You see, skills and abilities can only get you so far. A man can get himself in trouble for illegal activity, especially a man with no outstanding morals.
This could put an end to our relationship.
You've been lucky to find somebody like me. You see, another skill that I got is I don't ask a lot of questions. Especially about my employer. See, once I support your scientific endeavours, man's got to live. So, have I got to get myself out in the morgue?
Is that something you could do?
Not easily. Man with my record, if I get caught, it's back to jail, that's for me. Well, for a pretty penny or two, see what I can do.
Do whatever it takes.
You see, there is a question of professional ethics.
And see, that is why I employ the services of someone like you, to whom ethics mean nothing, no moral compass.
You see, I ain't never been a man of science, nor a man of the cloth. I've seen things. From the colonies on the other side of the world to the banks of this here fair city. spiritual photography. Anytime I see it, it just sends a shiver up my spine. See, I get it. It's good to give people some hope that it ain't just the end of things. Life sort of goes on. It's a funny little box. Every time I see it, it gives me shivers, so it does.
Do not touch it!
Expensive, right?
What is it?
Sorry to stop you, sir. There's a detective from Scotland Yard here to see you.
I see. Will they not be dissuaded?
I'm afraid not, sir. She's very, very persistent.
Curses! There's a detective here from Scotland Yard.
What? Well, I'm gonna have it here.
There is no time. You're my assistant. All above board and correct. Enter.
Detective Hardy to see you, Professor. Should I prepare the reception room?
Indeed you should. My workshop is hardly a place to greet a guest.
My apologies, Professor.
Here's perfectly suitable. I'm sorry to call unannounced.
Very good. Thank you. That should be all.
I'll take my leave, Professor.
I'd best be enough, Professor.
I prefer you to stay, Mr.
Allow me to introduce my assistant, Mr. Westward.
Pleasure to meet you, Mom.
Likewise. Mr. Hamish McGregor, are you acquainted with this man?
Hamish McGregor. No, I know a Hamish Weaver, but a Hamish McGregor I do not recall.
And you? He's a gardener, originally from the village of Carnahay. Made his name up north on the Stag's Head estate. His wife, a cotton dyer, tragically passed away a few weeks ago.
Ah, yes, Hamish McGregor. I do recall him coming in a couple of weeks ago, asking us to take a photograph of his wife's spirit.
Strange you didn't remember that the first time I asked.
See, the Professor, he sees a lot of people. Dock workers and councilmen and merchants and women from the cotton factory. He's a very busy man. And his rate is reasonable.
Prospective clients?
Every man needs to make a living for himself, detective.
By cunning and grieving. Yours is a dark and grimy profession, promising to rescue the souls of those dearly departed.
I take it you're a believer in Inspector Tardy.
Detective. And no, I do not believe that an object of man's construction can capture the human soul. No. But what is your business here with Mr. Fromm, Mr. Westbound?
Westward. I drives the cart, does a bit of lifting, general dog's body, right?
Why am I here, detective? Am I to deduce I am being accused of something?
Mr. McGregor is missing. I have several witness accounts placing you as the last person to see him.
I attempted to capture a photograph of his wife's spirit.
And did you succeed?
Unfortunately not. I did not take a payment and left his home on Hillsbridge Avenue on good terms. Mr. Westworth can vouch for me.
Indeed I can, Professor.
Something alive in there?
Expanding gas and the chemicals I used to develop the photographs.
I see. And why do they call you Professor?
He's a man of science, isn't he?
You have no academic credentials. You have never set foot in a university corridor. Your title is merely that, a title. I presume you use it to impress your paying customers.
Professor, he's a showman. He can tread the boards with the best of them.
Is this the true reason you are here, detective? To discredit my qualification? Is that all you have? Surely there are more important cases crossing Scotland Yard's desk. I've heard rumours of the Great Granite Plague.
What age are you?
What relevance is the Professor's age?
I deem it to be very relevant. And he's not a professor. I have a number of sources that have contradictory statements as to his age.
You should question the validity of your sources, detective. You see, there are many out there who wish to discredit my work. I've made many enemies in the fields of science and religion.
What's in these jars?
Excessive redundant chemicals. Side effects from using the photography equipment.
The daguerreotype style of photography is all but been forgotten. Most people believe that the so-called ghost photographers are merely experimenting, using long exposures, placing the subject behind glass, or moving the subject out of the frame before the process is complete. Perhaps they cut out faces from newspapers in order to represent disembodied figures. Do you use gelatin layers?
It facilitates the action of the subsequent chemicals.
Acetic or citric acid?
It depends on the desired outcome.
Amateur photographer, are you?
Not at all.
You know your stuff. But maybe there's something else. Some people, they say, I got a gift. Can see behind the veil. Can see the truth. Been surrounded all my life with sorrow and despair. There ain't nothing scientific or spooky. I just know people. You've lost somebody, haven't you?
I hardly think this is appropriate.
You personally requested this case, didn't you? You came here wanting to see if I could do the things so many people think I could do. See if the testimony of the masses are true.
I didn't believe the professor at first. till I saw it with my very own eyes.
He's not a professor.
But him and his equipment, they captured the very image of the dear departed.
I can help, detective. Give you closure. Let me take your photograph.
The case did originally land on the desk of another detective. But I wanted to see your equipment for myself. See if it was true. I still don't truly believe you understand.
Neither do so many people. But then, they do. Even the great writer Arthur Conan Doyle is a believer.
Have you had a photograph taken?
I lost a lot of people in my time. But right now, those ugly mugs that I want to see again.
I lost a colleague. A good friend. Taken far too soon under circumstances out with our control. Will you capture the ghost of my friend?
The photographic process does not capture the spirit itself. It merely captures this image of the spirit, shall we say.
Don't you worry, detective. We're long past the time where people believe that this apparatus is going to steal your soul. You ain't going to see the shape of terror in a flash.
I hope you both understand that even after all this, I still will require an explanation as to the disappearance of Hamish McGregor. His disappearance must be explained.
Detective, I feel once I take your photograph, the disappearance of Hamish McGregor will no longer be a concern of yours. Mr. Westward, on your way out, can you lock the door, please?
Lock the door.
For the photographic process to work, you need to hold very still. We can't have anybody interrupting us, so please, take a seat.
It's been nice meeting you, detective.
miss them so much. They were taken too soon.
So, can I take your photograph?